Yo, what is good, Dallas Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to the channel, guys. We have some more breaking news, notes, highlights, observations from another day here in Dallas Cowboys training camp. In this video, I'm primarily going to break down a couple of guys who've been looking really good, but I also want to talk about 10 players who are absolutely breaking all expectations and are looking to make a big leap in another year here in Dallas for the Cowboys. So make sure you guys stick around for the rest of the video to hear about all these guys who are standing out so far in practice. However, before we jump in, do me a quick little favor and hit that like button. As we see, Micah Parsons did get a little bit injured here in this drill. I think you guys have been seeing it, but seemed to be okay. But hit the like button so we can get this video out to more Cowboys fans. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Join the family, turn on post notifications so you're notified every time we go live for a video or every time we go live for a game, because I will be streaming Dallas Cowboys games throughout the season as well. So if you want to watch some Cowboys games with me, make sure you guys join the family. I'll also be covering free agency, training camp, preseason, everything you can think of. I've got you guys covered. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. Now, a couple of guys who looked really good and someone who's really breaking out, a guy you've probably heard a ton about, Deuce Vaughn, man. This dude looks electric. Every single time that he touches the football, something amazing happens. I mean, the elusiveness that he brings, the agility, the acceleration. I mean, he is small, but he is a speed demon. I think this dude is going to be, utilized in this offense. Maybe not as a starter, but he's going to be thrown in there at times, and he's going to show you, and he's going to be a fan favorite of some Dallas Cowboys fans out there, because the way he plays football is just electric, and he's going to make a lot of people be like, damn, we should have drafted him, in the 5th round or the 4th round. There's going to be a lot of teams out there that are like, damn, we really could have drafted that dude. He's going to look good, so I'm expecting to see a lot out of him over the next couple of weeks, because he's looked good. And that was a play again where Mike Parsons got a little bit injured with the boxing glove. But let's get into a couple of players who have, done more than expected so far throughout camp. Now, one being Damone Clark, a linebacker, not expected to play much in his rookie year, but he played in about, 10 games, I believe, returning from his neck injury. And now coming into year 2, man, his confidence level is up here, man. He's playing so good for this team right now, and he looks to be a potential starter as a former 5th round pick of last year's draft. Look for him to continue to improve. That's just one name that I wanted to bring up. Another one is Sean McKeon, a tight end here. Obviously, we know Dalton Schultz is over there in, I want to say Houston. I think he's in Houston now, so not too far away. But you have a Jake Ferguson. You got Luke Schoonmaker, who's on the NFI list right now. You also have Peyton Hendershot, but Sean McKeon has been a guy who, a lot of reporters have been talking about. I mean, his resilience, his effort is always top tier. So he's a guy that's been, doing pretty good. He's not going to compete for a starting job by any means, but he's someone who's trying to fight for a roster spot, and I think he could definitely do that. And even if he does make the roster, I think there will be times where they put him on the field, just because how hard he goes, how versatile he is as a tight end. So I think he's been pretty good and proved as run blocker as well. And then you got Jonathan Hankins in the interior of the defensive line, looking very good. Obviously, we know they drafted Mozzie Smith in the 1st round of April's draft, but Jonathan Hankins has been a standout in the interior of the defensive line so far. Obviously, once the pads came on, you could tell the difference between him and some of the other guys on the roster. So Hankins is another guy who is really taking a step up. And also, I would not be surprised to see him getting the starting nod, at least to start the season over Mozzie Smith. But those two are definitely in battle right now for that starting job. And then you have a 7th round pick out of South Carolina, Jalen Brooks, the wide receiver, who is looking really good, man. As you see Sean McKeon there get a catch. But yeah, Jalen Brooks has looked really good so far in camp. I feel like, last year we saw a lot of Jalen Tolbert breakout in camp. Then towards the regular season, got a lot of healthy scratches. I wonder if it's going to be very similar in terms of Jalen Brooks, but he's been one of the breakout rookies so far in camp. Another guy we can look at is DeMarvion Overshawn, the rookie linebacker who they drafted. They have a ton of confidence in this dude. He's going to be a lethal special teamer right away as a 3rd round pick, but I also think he can see the field a lot as a linebacker, especially if there's an injury. I feel like he's going to be a guy that they get on the field a lot. I kind of want to go over these names kind of quickly here. Kamate Turpin is another guy they've been using in multiple different areas in terms of the backfield, special teams, wide receiver, another playmaker. When he has the ball in his hands, he can make anything happen. So look for him to get more involved in this offense next year. Obviously, Micah Parsons looks even better than he did last year, which I don't really know how that's even possible. But again, he looks better. He's improving. Jalen Tolbert, again, coming off another, monster training camp period. Last year, he was amazing. This year, he looks amazing. We'll see if that continues to show over the next couple of games or days. And then you got... I don't know how to say his name right, but let me know in the comment section down below. Janaea Thomas, a safety. Now, this dude has been very interesting with Donovan Wilson and Israel Mukamu going down opening day of camp. This dude has really taking that step forward. He's really gone, his shit together, and he's ready to go, man. He looks incredible. Probably one of the biggest safeties that stepped up so far is Thomas. You also have Marquise Bell, who's also had a strong camp. But, man, when it comes to the best safety so far in camp, it is Juwan Thomas. I mean, he's been so good in the, he's had key pass breakups, and the coaching staff has been raving about him so far. So he's another guy I like. And then you got Nahshon Wright, a cornerback. Trayvon Diggs was battling a little bit of a toe injury for a little bit. Nahshon Wright rotated in, and dude, he took full advantage of, Trayvon Diggs being out. And if you guys remember, Nahshon Wright is, I believe, now correct me if I'm wrong, I believe he was on Hard Knocks if you guys watched that season, unless it was his brother. But either way, this dude was drafted in the third. It might have been his brother, actually, now that I think of it. It might have been the other one. But he's looking very good in camp, nevertheless. He's been really, really good. So if they do have an injury to this cornerback room, I think they're in good hands with a guy like Nahshon Wright, the third-round pick of 2021. He's really starting to get together here, really starting to ramp up his gameplay. I think you see him right here on the field, number 25. He's just been good. So I'm excited to see his growth over the next few days, next few weeks of training camp. But so far, so good for the Cowboys, who look to be one of the most underrated teams in the entirety of the NFL next year, and I think they can really make a big jump in terms of a big playoff run. Guys, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. This video is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy, and if you love playing fantasy sports like football, basketball, baseball, and so many other sports, but also love being able to win money, you're going to want to stick around for this whole segment. Introducing Underdog Fantasy, the ultimate platform for fantasy sports lovers. Do you want to experience the thrill of drafting your team and competing for huge prizes? Well, look no further. With Underdog Fantasy, you get access to a wide range of fantasy sports, including football, basketball, baseball, and so much more. But here's what makes Underdog Fantasy stand out from all of those other apps. They've got quick and user-friendly drafting process, a unique and exciting game formats, fair and competitive contests for all skill levels, and attractive bonuses and promotions. Not only can you draft teams and compete with others, but you can also play a game of higher and lower, which is personally my favorite thing to do on there, but you can potentially win 20 times the money you put down. And if you use code MattyDubs when you sign up, Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. And what that means is basically when you deposit, let's say $100, they'll give you a free $100 to use and play with. Click the link in the description to get started, or head to the website right now to start dominating the fantasy world. And don't miss out on all the fun. Be a part of the Underdog community starting now. And don't forget, if you use code MattyDubs, they'll match your first deposit up to $100. Let's get started. Get into drafts with me starting today.